In this nugget, you and I get to walk through the solution for troubleshooting ticket number 12. In ticket number 12, it states that fault tolerance for VLAN 10, it completely fails if DSW1 is down. Well, who are you gonna call? Ghostbusters! Doom, 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 doom. And if the Ghostbusters aren't available or don't have IT technical skills, it's up to us. So I think what we gotta do to simulate that is we probably gotta go into GNS3 and actually power off DSW1, and then it'll be much easier to find the fault domain with it out of the picture. So here in GNS3, let's go over to DSW1, we'll right click him, and from the drop down, we'll simply say we want him to stop. And he is now down. So let's go to PC1 and give it an IP address. Now, I'm feeling a little bit out of place because normally we go to DSW1, interface VLAN 10, we bounce that interface, but because that whole switch is down, let's just go right here to PC1 and use the command IP space DHCP and see whether or not we get an IP address. And we have a few discovers with no offers. So let's try it one more time just to be sure. And I suppose that was just wishful thinking because the DHCP Discover is not getting an offer back as a result. So let's go up to DSW2. It's our only distribution layer switch available. And let's do a show standby VLAN 10 just to verify that it believes it's active for HSRP group 10. And it does. It thinks it's active. That's great. Let's also verify that DSW2 has an IP helper configured on it. So we'll do a show IP helper dash address. And survey says it does. So for VLAN 10, the DHCP we're forwarding to is 4444. So let's verify that DSW2 can reach that IP address. We'll source it from our VLAN 10 interface, and that'll help confirm that the DHCP server has reachability back to that subnet as well. And the ping fails. Okay, well, at least that explains why we're not getting DHCP services, or at least one reason, and that's because the IP helper doesn't have reachability to that router, or it could be that that router, which is R4, doesn't have reachability back to us. Because ping, as you know, is a two-way street. There's the echo request and the echo replies. So next, let's ask the switch to show us its routing table with the command show IP route. And it says, well, we didn't expect to see any EAGRP learned routes from DSW1 because it's completely powered off. But I was hoping for at least a few EIGRP learned routes from R4, which is supposed to be an EIGRP neighbor with DSW2. And if he's a neighbor, he's not sharing very much because we don't have any EIGRP learned routes. Let's do a show IP EIGRP neighbor just to confirm that we do or don't have a neighborship, and we don't. Let's verify that we have basic layer 3 connectivity between us and R4. Let's do a ping to 10.1.4.9. And okay, so we have basic connectivity. That's a good start, but we do not have an EIGRP neighborship. Now, the question is, whose problem is it? Well, you might be saying, Keith, it's yours. You're doing the walkthrough. But I mean, whose problem is it regarding the neighborship? Is it something that's wrong with DSW2, or is it something that's wrong with R4? Because I think that's our fault domain that we're working with right here. And because we're at DSW2 right now, let's do a show IP EIGRP interface just to verify which interfaces, if any, are enabled for EIGRP Autonomous System number 10. So on DSW2, we have VLAN 10, VLAN 20, VLAN 200, and FA00. Let's take a peek at our topology. What I'm mostly concerned about right now regarding EIGRP is this interface right here, because that's the interface that I want to make sure is enabled for EIGRP so that we have a chance of having an EIGRP neighborship between DSW2 and R4. And I didn't see 0/1 as an EIGRP enabled interface. So let's go back to DSW2 just to confirm that. And sure enough, I do not see it there. So maybe there's a network statement configured incorrectly here on DSW2 that did not include the FA0/1 interface. So to verify that, we could do a show IP protocols. And here in the output of show IP protocols, here's our network statements that we have. And the FA0/1 interface is on the 10.1.4.8 network, which is right here. So this network statement right here should have included the FA0/1 interface. And then as I look a little bit lower, I see this right here, where it says passive interfaces FA0/1. So somebody has come in on DSW2 and they've told it that they want to have FA0/1 be a passive interface for EIGRP. And as a result, that's why EIGRP is not enabled on that interface. If we looked at the running config, that would confirm the same thing for us. We'll do a show run pipe section router EIGRP. And again, if you're in a simulation or some other type of environment, you can just do a show run and cycle through till you get to the part you want to see. And sure enough, there's our passive interface FA0/1 right there. So let's correct that. We'll go into configuration mode. We'll go into router config for EIGRP autonomous system number 10, and we'll just say no. No passive dash interface, FA0/1. And if there's other problems, we can deal with those as well. But because we just got our neighborship up between R4 and us, it appears that that may have been the only issue, was the passive interface here on DSW1's FA0/1 interface. So let's type in end, we'll get out of configuration mode, and let's go back to PC1 and give it another shot. We'll use the up arrow key for IP space DHCP. And we've got some D's, we're hoping for an O. There's our offer, there's our request, and the acknowledgement. So we've just got a DHCP assigned IP address here on PC1, and that was made possible through the IP helper function on the VLAN 10 interface of DSW2. So let's try a ping out to the internet server at 209.65.200.241, and that is a home run. In this ticket, our fault domain was DSW2, the technology was IPv4 EIGRP, and the solution was to remove the passive interface statement that was not enabling EIGRP on DSW2's 0/1 interface. Hey, thanks for joining me for this walkthrough of troubleshooting ticket number 12. And I look forward to seeing you in the next walkthrough. Meanwhile, I hope this has been informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.